This is the BULLBAT 500 watt portable power station. Let's take it out of the box. In the box you get the instruction booklet and a bunch of cables. Here is the charge cable for the car cigarette lighter plug to the barrel jack connector. For the house, power adapter, and of course the AC cable for it going to the barrel jack connector. And also a solar charge cable right here, barrel jack connector, and your solar end right now. What I'm going to do is tell you a bit about this unit, and then of course we're going to put this to the test with some real-world items. Now I'm going to tell you about the specifications of the unit here. This is really more of just a lecture. If you'd like to skip ahead, of course you can feel free. Now, like I said, this is a 500 watt portable power station. It's 500 watts sustained or continuous output, but it can do up to 1,000 watts peak on it. This has two USB-A style ports here, so you can plug a phone, a tablet, anything in there. And there are two USB-C type ports over here, as you see, as well. The A ports on the left can put out 18 watts, and the C ports on the right can put out up to 60 watts. There is also, over here, a 12 volt, 10 amp cigarette lighter connection, and over here is an outlet for the fan that is inside that will automatically turn on and off as needed by the unit. It will, of course, determine that as it runs. You have your two AC ports over here. This can put out 50 or 60 hertz, button selectable right there. But what's really nice about this is it puts out a true sine wave on the AC. It's not a modified sine wave or a, stepped square wave or anything like that. This is a true sine wave unit. It also has a light on this side that you can see. It's quite bright, and in fact it has 4 modes. I will be demonstrating that to you later on. Back to the front once again, you have your charge port here, DC in, so that's where any of the charging is going to go into the unit from either the AC adapter or the car adapter or even your solar adapter. What's also nice is you can also, if you have a separate USB-C charger, these are bidirectional ports, so you can plug in a USB-C charger and get this to charge up even faster than the included AC adapter, which really is quite fast. So how long does it take to charge? How long it's going to last? Let's get into that. As far as how long it's going to last, well, it's impossible for me to say, because that all is going to depend on the load that you put on it. If you're going to be plugging a small heater into this and running a lamp, you're probably running it close to its capacity, and it won't last near as long as if you just had the lamp. However, what's nice about it is it has a display here, and it'll give you an estimation of how long it's going to last. Now, as far as charging on this, for solar, you're going to want a 200 watt panel, and it can charge in approximately 4 to 6 hours with solar charging. In the house, you're looking about 4 hours in total for a charge on it, and for the car, it's going to take about 6 to 7 hours to charge it up. So car charging is not really the greatest option if you are going on a long trip, and of course the battery is not run all the way down. Then chances are you can bring this up to a pretty good clip by the time you get where you're going, especially if you're going to be camping, hiking, anything like that. You can, of course, take this with you. Obviously, you're going to be leaving it in the car because you're not walking all around creation with this, but it weighs only 12 pounds, so it's really not that heavy at all. It has lithium-ion batteries inside there. This also supports pass-through charging, so that means that it can be charged and used at the same time. It's never recommended to do that, but it does support it. You're going to get a much better charge charging it solely than you would with you know, a load on it at the same time. This has MPPT, or maximum power point tracker, for quicker solar charging. And your solar panel must have 12 to 30 volts open circuit output and have an MC4 connector to connect to the appropriate cable so it can plug into this and charge it. And really, if you do have a large solar panel, you have free energy, essentially, that you can get from the sun and run some pretty serious equipment. 500 watts is a lot more than you think, and like I said, I'm going to be demonstrating that to you in very short order. I want to show you the light on it, and we're going to test the USB and the 12 volt output, and then of course AC. So the first thing we're going to do is power the unit on. There we are. I've pre-charged this to 100%, so it is ready to go. Also, while I have everything set right here, let's talk about charge cycles. One charge cycle is running the battery down from 100% pretty much to all the way empty, or very near empty. That constitutes one full charge cycle. This can do 500 charge cycles over its lifetime. However, if you run this battery down to about 50% and then recharge it, that only counts as a half cycle. So if you always do half cycle charging, then it can last for 1,000 half cycle charges. So all depending on what you need to do. Now we'll get on to the light. I'll turn it here. Of course, I'm going to show you what this will output later on. There's a button. You press it. It'll beep. The light will turn on, and you have low brightness, high brightness. Now we're going to have flashing lights, so if you are affected by that, look away. It has a slow flash, as you see, and then a fast flash. And one more press, and it will go out, and my camera will refocus. Now I'm going to turn the light on again, and I want you to see how efficient the LED light on this is, which you can just use on your campsite just to light up to see, to get around so you don't trip over any rocks or anything. We'll turn that on, and we have a display here. It says it's outputting 2 watts on DC, and down over here it says 99 hours. Is it going to last 99 hours? I actually expect it's going to last more than 99 hours. It's just that it can't display a larger number than 99. If we go to high brightness, that's 4 watts, and for the tremendous amount of light you're going to see in just a moment, you know, this can run for practically forever with that. And on the flash modes, it's 2 watts on either flash mode. So now I'll show you what that can do. All right, I'm just holding the unit so you can see. Here's low. Wow. Quite good. And high, seriously bright. This can light up a campsite easily so you don't trip over rocks just by itself. Okay, now we're going to play with the USB. I only have a USB-A device I can show you. We'll turn on the DC out by pressing the button there, and it comes up with that display that we saw before. And even with no load, like I said, it shows 99 hours simply because it can't display a larger number than that. Here's my phone plugged in with a USB cable, and I can take the USB cord and plug it into the unit. You see we have a wattage display there of about 5 watts, and it's currently charging the phone. You heard the tone on the phone there, and our number has gone down to 71 hours. Now, of course, we all know it's not going to take 71 hours to charge your phone, but of course, the more load you place on this, the lower that number is going to go. And it's going to jump all around depending on if you have a varying load on there. So there's USB, no problem with that, and that can charge the phone up, I don't know, 100 times, maybe more. It's got a lot of power inside. Now we'll get into something a little bit bigger. Here's a 12-volt tire inflator, and we can go ahead and plug that in over here. Our display on there lights up. Now I'm not going to bother setting any pressure here because there's no tire here, but I'll turn it on. It is going to be loud, of course. And you can see that indeed runs it. 99 and it's pulling about 37, 38 watts, and we're down to 12 hours. Now we'll give this a good run. I'll hook a balloon up to this and just let it go until it pops. Now I have no idea how long this is going to take, but I will put that on the screen just so we can see how long it ran for and what the battery level is going to be after this. And of course I'm going to speed this way up so you don't have to sit here forever. So I've already placed on screen how long that took for it to pop that balloon. We're still at 100%. Now we'll try the AC output. So the DC output is still on. We don't need that for now, so we can shut that. But you can have both DC output and AC output at the same time. For AC output, I'm going to select 60 Hertz, and over here I have a small, low wattage bulb, incandescent. Plug that in, and there is 120 volts right out of this box, and that bulb is using 4 watts. So we can run that, it says, for 41 hours. Well, that's not too bad at all. And if that's all the light you need, that's great. But by now you're saying, okay, these are toys. Let's get into the big guns. Okay, so let's get into that now. Alright, plugged in right now is a Dremel tool. This has been around forever. So we're going to go ahead and kick that on. I'll kick it all the way to high speed. Uses about 60-something watts. I need to fix this. The brushes on it are no good. But certainly that worked no problem. Let's go bigger. Here's an old drill. AC powered. It's plugged in. So that pulls about 200 watts, and you may have noticed there was a little indicator that came on there, which was the indicator for the fan. The fan, like I said, will automatically run. I'll do that again so you'll see. And it shuts off. Alright, let's go bigger still. Maybe you're a mobile detailer for cars, and the customer doesn't have power, or maybe there's just a mysterious power outage and you need to get the job done. So I have this set at the lowest speed, and we're going to go ahead and see if this can handle it. So at the lowest speed, it looks like it pulls about 47 to 50 watts, and I'll increase the speed. And that went up to very near 500 watts. And you see, this handled it no problem. And of course, now you're going to say, well, if you started on low, you know, there's only 50, 60 watts of draw just to start it. Okay, let's start it all the way on high and see if the BULLBAT power station can handle that. It's rated to handle up to 1,000 watts of startup power and 500 watts sustained. Not a problem at all. I'm going to do that again so you get a close-up of the screen there. That was saying it would run for approximately a full hour on a full charge, of course, at the highest speed. And quite honestly, you're not going to be running a buffer at the highest speed for anywhere near an hour. You're going to be going at a much lower speed. So we're going to be in a much lower wattage range, and it's going to last quite a bit longer than that. Like I said, it adjusts for, you know, whatever it is there. Let me leave this run for a good minute or so at the highest speed. And of course, I'll skip right through that, and we'll see what the battery finally ends up at. And it looks like the battery has only gone down to 97% after all of that testing without any problem, and it should keep going for quite some time to go. So let's take that abstract data that we got from testing and extrapolate that into real-world usage. Let's say that you have a spot out in the woods somewhere and you want to build a cabin, or you want to build a shed or something like that, and there's no power nearby. This can certainly help you out. Now, you're going to have to run a few different things. You're going to have to run a jigsaw, a circular saw, and of course, if you size these things appropriately to the output that this has, it'll most certainly run it within the specs. As you saw, that polisher that I had, the buffer, pulled very close to 1,000 watts, and it was able to start it no problem and sustain it running at about 470 watts, and that'll run for an hour straight. You're not going to be running that for an hour straight, but you might have a small air compressor which is going to run for 5-6 minutes at a clip, and isn't going to be pulling anywhere near that kind of wattage for maybe a 6-gallon air compressor for a small brad nailer or stapler or something like that. Maybe you need to run an electric drill like that. All right out of this box. Maybe you're going camping. Well, we all have 5G nowadays on our phones, and for some reason that's very important. It would be good in case you do get into an emergency situation and need to call for help. There's service in a lot of places these days. But your phone is going to go dead without power. You have USB ports right there, even USB-C. Charge that right up. Maybe you have an air mattress and one of those inflators like I showed. You have that 12-volt port on the side here where you can plug that in and run that. So you have your 12-volt outputs, your 5-volt outputs, and again, if you're camping in that, you have the light right on there as such, you know, to light your way in addition to that. So you have some serious power output from this device here to run all sorts of different things. And the battery is going to last a really, really long time. Like I said before, it has a fan inside to keep it cool. It is pure sine wave output, so you don't have to worry about plugging in things that are sensitive electronics like a TV that you could receive over-the-air broadcasts with. Or how about your laptop? Watch some Hulu or Netflix or something like that. You can do that too. You don't have to worry about it. Just plug it on in there and it can charge that up. And then of course you could run off the battery in your laptop or on your phone and save the power in here. So even if you're going away for a week, if you use your power very carefully, you can make it last for you. And if you have a solar charger for it and can leave this out to solar charge during the day, you have virtually an endless amount of power. Really small, convenient, easy to carry at only 12 pounds, plenty of output for just about anything you want to throw at it. All around, the BULLBAT 500 watt power station is an excellent, excellent deal. If you'd like to purchase this item, I'll leave a link in the video description where you can find the item available for sale on Amazon. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.